On Twitter, Stefon Diggs said it's time for a new beginning. Now, there's been all sorts of speculation about a possible Stefon Diggs trade, really since going back to last trade deadline. Obviously, nothing materialized. We're keeping our eyes on it. As we know, social media can also provide fool's gold. But for now, Stefon Diggs is at least letting the football world speculate as to whether or not he could be on the move. There have been times where that seemed, even by Stefon's own actions and words, like he would prefer a change of scenery.
Yeah, there were times last year where it seemed like that was definitely going to happen. Adam Schefter, Booger McFarland, both with us. Adam, why don't you get us started here on the potential of Diggs on the move?
Yeah, well, Susie, this is one of those things that just keeps coming up and never seems to go away. And the Vikings keep saying they're not talking to anybody. But I think there are teams that are interested in monitoring Stefon Diggs, but they haven't had any active conversations with the Vikings. So, again, when you get Stefon Diggs tweeting things like this, then inevitably you're going to get the speculation that follows. Clearly, he's not entirely happy there in Minnesota. Clearly, he's looking for a new beginning, to steal his phrase and his words. But the Vikings say they haven't spoken to teams about him. But I think there have been teams out there that have kicked the tires, not from Minnesota's choice, but from other teams going to them and saying, maybe, would you be interested? And the Vikings saying, no, news to me, not happening. So, again, we'll continue to wonder about it, speculate about it, but I'm told there's nothing there right now, and we'll see if that holds up.
Yeah, maybe time for a fresh start for Stefon Diggs. Booger, what do you think?
You know, I think this comes down to the relationship between Kirk Cousins and Stefon Diggs. You know, anytime you have two premier receivers, there's only one ball, and so that ball is not going to get distributed to each guy equally. I think if we go back to the beginning of the season when the receiver, Stefon Diggs and Kirk Cousins had that little riff, Kirk Cousins came out and said, hey, guys, it's on me. I'll do better. And then we saw Stefon Diggs' numbers improve. He's their deep threat. When they want to get the football down the field, yeah, Thielen can work underneath. But when they want the big play, it's Kirk Cousins to Stefon Diggs deep over the top of your secondary. So you have to wonder, with Kirk Cousins signing back and getting extended today with that big news, if Stefon Diggs is saying, here we go again, I'm going to be stuck with Kirk Cousins for another 3 years, and that's what he means by maybe it's time for a new beginning. We don't know, we're speculating, but you got to know the relationship between Cousins and Diggs hasn't been the best, and maybe, just maybe, with Cousins signing back, Diggs is saying, you know what, it's time for a new change.
Well, you know, either way, that tweet out there just adds static, right? You know that adds static because now everyone's asking, what does that mean? I think it's curious because he is coming off of his best season in terms of yards, only 6 touchdowns. So despite the fact that it seemed like there was a disconnect somewhere there in the middle of the season, I think I was there in the locker room when he gave you that wink and let you know that things were still okay. But clearly, I think Stefon Diggs knows that he's a very talented wide receiver and can probably flourish even more, you know, if he had the situation that was most optimal for him.
You have
in his
8
life,
seconds.
perhaps.
Yeah, it's easy to speculate, too. He's supposed to make $10.9 million, a little bit like DeAndre Hopkins, probably wants a new deal, has 165 catches over the last 2 years. This draft is loaded with receiver. Could be opportunity to move on from
I don't think he ever got over the fact that philosophically at the beginning of the year last year, they were trying to be something that they're not.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, highlights, and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.